Happy Friday, everybody. We're gonna start in a couple of seconds over here. Thank you for joining. Looking forward for a great session with our own Alison Van Wig, Jordan Davis, and Gary Nix. Thanks for joining, everybody. I'm going to start in a few moments over here.
Mehdi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. And do you see a video of me or no?
Not yet, Alison. Not yet. I can hear you though. So that's a good start.
Okay. I'm just trying to get the camera to work now. I don't know why it's not on.
Sure. Okay, I'm just waiting for one person to join us over here. We're going to start. Thanks for joining, everybody. We're live on Facebook. Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Good morning. Or good afternoon now.
It is good afternoon. Okay, Alison, I don't see your camera yet. Not sure if you're able to.
It's asking me for a password on BlueJeans. Sorry.
Okay, maybe try to log off and log in again with the same link I sent you. Thanks for joining, everybody. We're going to start in a few moments over here. We're starting some Friday Tech Challenges. Just a couple of seconds over here. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Okay, I see you now. Perfect. Thank you, Alison. Okay, let's start. We are having Alison, let's make sure I'm going to unmute you. Perfect. Can you see me, hear me?
Yes, I can see and hear you.
Okay, great. I see you in your home office, looking sharp as always. We're going to have Jordan Davis and Gary Nix joining in a bit. Jordan just finished a home inspection, so he's somewhere on the road over there, hustling to join us. And same thing with Gary. So, Alison, thank you for making the time.
You're welcome. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and I know that you're right after this session, you're going to rush into another inspection, right?
I have to show property, actually.
Right.
So
okay.
Lots of paperwork now and showing some property.
Perfect, great. And I see, Jordan, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah.
Great, thank you. So Jordan is joined by phone. Thanks for the hustle, my friend. I appreciate you joining the call.
Oh, no problem.
So, okay, let's just jump into it, and gonna start. Our topic for today's discussion is shift happens, strategies for adapting to changing market. And naturally, you know, we're shifted a few months ago by default, right? Nothing was really as expected, and shifted in a sense of how we do business, how we communicate to our clients, how we're reaching out, how we do inspections, how we do showings, etc. Right? So we'd love to have that kind of a discussion right now and hear from you guys. Oh, here's Gary. Hey, Gary. If you just can unmute yourself. We have the whole team, the whole team over here. So, yeah, just feel free to unmute yourself whenever you want, Gary. So we have, once again, Alison Van Wyk from the KW Coastal office, and we have Gary Nix from the South Bay office, and we have Jordan Davis over the phone from the Calabasas office. So thanks, guys, again for joining us. So shift happens, guys, right? So Alison, go for it. Just open up and tell us what the shifts means or meant to you when everything happened.
Okay. I think that people are a little scared right now. I've had several calls about prices dropping and maybe I should sell right now. Maybe I shouldn't wait 2 or 3 months. And, people are just scared and nobody has a crystal ball, but I think we have to do the best we can to make them feel comfortable, realize it's a limited inventory market, and this is huge buyer opportunity right now. Even, some of these homes have 10, 12 offers on them, but, if it's priced right, it's going to sell. On the flip side, for your buyers, this is an opportunity to get into these homes. There's less and less agents working, and some of the buyers aren't back in the market yet. Now, you could probably see this week was a little bit busier than the prior 2 months, and I think what's happened is, and I kind of felt this was going to happen as we came out of the coronavirus things and things started opening up, now your buyers are starting to get back into the market to look, and it's creating more activity. So, during the whole coronavirus thing, I scheduled myself, and it's like try to stick to a normal schedule as possible. I know it's hard for everybody when you go through something like this, but, at first I said, okay, I'm just going to be at my computer by 10 o'clock and work till like 5. So give myself a little bit of a break, but still work. But now it should be business as usual, the usual for today, meaning you're going to wear masks, you're going to bring sanitizer. There's 2 other people on my team. We're allowed to complain, but you're allowed to complain for 5 minutes, and then you're done. So you can moan, complain, whatever to me for 5 minutes, and then, okay, now move on. The new forms came out. We can bitch about the new forms, but this is a new reality. We don't want to hear about it again. So we try to be upbeat about it. We try to just, I know we've had a lot of changes in forms. 5 minutes, move on. And if somebody else has already complained about it, you don't get your 5 minutes. Sorry. There's more business for the agents that are doing business because some of the agents, the new agents, they're having a hard time getting on board. And if one of you is a new agent and needs a little help, give me a call. But, with other companies, I think that they're kind of gone. And so you're going to get that family business that they might have had. And then some of the agents that are ready to retire probably chose to retire. So I find myself busier, and it's hard to get stuff done because of all the new stuff going on. But it's like, let's be grateful for the business and really try to give to people more because they're scared right now. Over and over this year, I've been reading this book called The Go-Getter. It's about giving back to people, but I find that's very, very helpful right now. I just left a listing appointment, and they're like, oh, we've been telling everybody else, and you're so helpful. So really focus on that. It's going to make you feel better than focusing on all the negative. It's like we have a lot of positive. Look how lucky we are to be working.
Good points, Alison. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to get back to you with more questions for sure. Jordan, you're out on the road, out and about. shift
Yes.
happened? What shifted for you, and how did you adjust? Kind of like in a few bullet points.
Well, I think to me, this whole thing has kind of been like a tsunami. Like we've had the earthquake, right? Now we're waiting to see kind of how big the wave's going to be, or if there is going to be one, which I don't think will necessarily be until 3 to 6 months time. But as of right now, like as of today, like things have still been strong for me, listing wise and buyers wise. I haven't actually seen too much of a difference apart from I fell out of escrow a couple of times during COVID because of the panic that going in and the unknown. But right now I'm still busy and so forth. Listings have been exactly the same. I'm not sure if that's the same for everybody across the board, but there is a 3 to 6 month time period coming where things may take a change, I'm guessing. But honestly, I've been busier than ever.
Hmm.
Like too busy, in fact. It's kind of been kind of strange.
Yeah,
I think part of that is the forms, but part of it is less realtors.
Yeah, it could be that. It could well be less realtors. Some people, when they got the news of this whole COVID thing, that are on the edge of being in the business, like you mentioned, that could have been the deciding factor in like, you know what, I'm not going to continue in the real estate business, or I was thinking about maybe changing career path, and that was the deciding factor for it. So yeah, it could be very possible that there's less real estate agents practicing right now as well.
good points. Gary next.
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, what do you want? You want me to contribute to that?
Yeah, please, just to the line of the shift happens, like, what was the impact for you the last few months?
Well, kind of like the gentleman I just spoke, we've been pretty busy. I think it's just, I don't know, maybe because I've gone through so many bold. Um, when everybody was all scared, I just stay in faith as opposed to stay in fear. Um, I think when you stay in faith, then you trust that things are going to be okay. You maintain whatever the government tell you to maintain, and you just go do what you're supposed to do. I never lost a beat from what I was doing before. Uh, what actually worked out great was buyers. I was able to get them easily into escrow. You do a consultation, you tell them, we're going to look at 3 or 4 properties and we're going to make an offer. And if you get an offer accepted, you better open that escrow because you may not get another one. And that kind of energy, I think, when buyers go look at the property, if it looks close to what they want, they were in and locked in, and you just open an escrow with them. So a few of that happened. I think the key thing is just staying in faith and not let what's going on. I plugged into KW Connect. I watched a few of interview with Monica and Gary, and just follow through what they're saying to do, and I got good results from it.
Yeah, I love it. Those are just solid points. And if you, in the spirit of shift or shift happens, if any of you on the panel or whoever is watching right now, we have a big crowd, by the way, watching us right now, read the shift by Gary Keller and Jay Papazan. One of the things over there that they said was real estate buyers and sellers have to shift their mindset to new and more creative strategies in this challenging market. And when I said in this challenging, it could be any market, right? So how did you guys shift your, in a very short period of time, your focus from what you have today as a reality, which was like, almost 3 months ago, to, we have new reality. Let's just keep the mind in the game. Alisa?
So I wanted us to focus on work and not focus on everything that was going around. And so we keep a book of all the projects that we want to work on. and we've had this book for probably 4 or 5 years. And so we went through that book and decided, okay, out of all these things that we need to do, what do we want to get done first? So that's what we worked on for like the first 2 months, and we were very busy. Some like I worked 1 12-hour day doing a online listing presentation, but now it's done and we have the tools we need. So we stayed very busy with that. We also immediately went through all of our expenses that first week and said, okay, what can we drop, but what can we change as well? So obviously we don't want to stop advertising, but we want a new way of doing advertising. We can't be dropping postcards and stuff because people don't want postcards dropped on their doorstep right now, and they probably won't for the next 6 to 8 months. So we've got to come up with a new way of advertising and a new way of focusing on stuff. So keeping a schedule, having a list of things that we needed to get done, and then what advertising were we going to take away and what advertising were we going to keep, what's the best money, the value for the money, and revamping some of that. And now we're in a better position. We're going to be spending less money this year. Even if we have the same amount of business, like it's hard to tell where we are right now because we are doing well for what's out there, but we haven't been keeping track because I don't even want us to focus on the numbers right now. I want to focus on doing business, doing it well, doing it properly, getting those forms, and being in a really happy state of mind that we have business and our clients are happy, and calming the clients.
Great points. And I love the fact that you're also responsible for your P&L, the expenses, etc. So like you know where you stand and reassess your ROI, right? This year. It's gonna be interesting for sure.
Yeah, my main goal this year was to cut expenses because all of the people that are on the team have been with us a long time, and we're a team, and we want to stay that way. So we wanted to focus on the expenses, get those down, and keep working so we have income coming in.
Yeah. Jordan.
Yeah, so well, what's really interesting is I've had so many buyer referrals last month and a half. I've had to refer some out because I just haven't been able to do them all. And so I've been speaking to them on their side of it, and they obviously sense because of the rates, that's great for them. But I think a lot of them are sensing that there are maybe deals out there that aren't necessarily there, you know, or the sellers aren't there to make those kind of deals right yet in their mind. Not that that's a factor because they still go on and buy something anyway, but it seems like there's been a strong buyer pool as well during this whole thing. I just closed a 4-unit yesterday, and I think that's where predominantly a lot of the deals are right now, is in the income unit section, with tenants maybe not paying, maybe landlords getting itchy feet. There's definitely deals to be had in that section. The one I just helped my client get fell out of escrow twice, and he got it for like over 100,000 less than what it was originally in escrow with pre-COVID, and the landlord just wanted out. So I definitely think, and I'm speaking to people in that area too, I definitely think that's the area where the deals are right now, not so much the single family. And there's still a strong pulling factor in there, you know, for owner occupied. For unit and income property, you can make some deals right now for sure. I've seen quite a few, so that's good. But as far as myself goes, my overhead with marketing was never that high. Social media has been really good to me still. I'm still getting a lot of people contacting me through social media, Instagram and Facebook, which I don't do any sponsored ads. It's just now referral from friends. My content's good, and I've had like 4 referrals probably in the last 30 days from just my Facebook and Instagram alone. And I have a ton of people just asking me questions about what I think's going on and so on, and trying to give them detailed answers. So for that, I'm grateful, and so on. But I've had a lot of buyers calling me on listings, and a lot of people referring me buyers right now.
Well, we know what class you're gonna teach next, Jordan, for sure.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
honestly, I can show you. I got a WhatsApp message today from somebody, which is on WhatsApp. I don't know why they didn't text me or mail me, but they WhatsApped me basically saying, they want to buy something, and it was a friend of my friend's, who I play soccer with, and she reached out to me and was just like, I want to look to buy something and so on and so forth. I think, and I had some other clients from before, like we just refied our place. We want to go buy a duplex right now. We know the rates are low. Like we just want to get in. So there's an opportunity for sure. I don't know how long it will last, but in the income section, I'm definitely seeing the opportunity there in the single family. Even though I do work with investors, and I did help them close one down in Redondo Beach, which was a good deal. I think the deals that happened at the beginning of COVID and the shutdown were much better than they are now. I think people are starting to realize that it's not going to be anything as bad as what we thought, even though you have the people that went through 2008 crisis that still believe that may happen or still have nightmares from that. I think pictured that same scenario at the start of COVID, but now obviously I think things are going to be a lot better. So
Stock market's up.
Yep, stock market's up. I think unemployment obviously went down again today, which will continue going down. Yeah, I think everything should be fine. I think keeping people well updated, and so forth and so on is good. I know some people that work in the restaurant business that are suffering. So I like I say, I don't know if in 3 to 6 months, like this has been a tsunami, we've had the earthquake, in 3 to 6 months, we see how big the wave is. If there are going to be some notice of defaults coming, some people that maybe have to sell, not want to, we may see in 3 to 6 months that happening. Is my thought, because there are going to be some people that are going to lose their jobs because of this, and effectively won't be able to keep their houses, and they'll have to sell. So that probably will happen, but I just don't know to what extent.
Great points. Gary, did you have to, or did you have to shift anything of what you normally did before COVID?
Not really. My prospecting is the same thing I normally do, some hours I put to it. What just happened is you have to be able to negotiate better and keep people centered. If you're caught up with what's going on and you're all over the place, then obviously you're not going to be able to keep your clients centered. So I was watching Stephanie on a KW Connect conversation about you have to take off your realtor hat and put on, a psychology hat or whatever. You just gotta be there to center people, like, okay, it's gonna be all right. Yeah, now the showing is different, the appointment setting is different. You can't do open house like you used to. So it's just adjusting to that. To me, the shift is shifting to what's going on around you. I remember I had a deal in escrow that, all of a sudden they can't go in to do inspection, and the seller won't allow that. And, so we just have to talk through it like, okay, what do we need to do to make it comfortable? Okay, do we need to sanitize your house before we do the inspection? Okay, let's do that. If we do that, can you step out so we can do what we need to do? So it's just adjusting to those season of things. That's basically why I pivot a little bit, to make things work. So.
Yeah, good point. It's just to really not to panic, but just understand, look at the surrounding and say, okay, I just need to fine tune whatever I need to, right? Gary, what is your main source of business? Are you a sphere guy, door knocking guy, cold call guy? How do you run your business? Or how did you run it mostly before, 2-3 months ago?
Well, my coach has been working with me on that. Mostly I do cold calling and sphere database calling. But beginning this year, I'm kind of glad I did that because, again, Gary Keller said, make your database be your data bank, and I kind of on in on that this year, and we've got really great results from that. Um, it's so good that when you're calling your database, even if you don't have a face-to-face or voice-to-voice contact, you leave a message, they call you back if they have a need for you. Or they even tell somebody else uh, that they refer somebody else, and you know you only left a message for them. So that's so cool. Cold calling. I mean, I still do that. I kind of follow Cody's direction on Monday, Tuesday cold calling. Uh, what's produced for me this year on the really, really high level was a database call. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the shift book, Gary says the pursuit of mastery bears gifts naturally. So it just if you do more of what you good at, you're gonna get the rewards.
Mhm.
Alison, what is your main source of business?
Main source of business was farming and referrals. So we found a new way to.
Oh wait, I think
Call.
you're muted for a second.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Farming and referrals. So, of course, with a lack of the farming or the farming going down, we had to make more calls to get more business from referrals. So you're just flipping it around a little bit, and there's a lot of new things coming in. Like, we obviously know listings are low, so go after some of those listings, calling the title company, finding out who has been in their home for over 20 years. So a different type of farming, more specific, maybe going after people that have been in their homes longer because we can't just pass out postcards anymore, calling the referrals more, and going through the database and calling our database of people that have come in 3, 4, 5 years ago, getting those sellers on some kind of program. If they came in 3 or 4 years ago, we still need them on some kind of program. So it's taken a huge amount of time, but you should have had some time in the last 2 months with the COVID thing to be able to do this. And now we're back to just, hey, we got to take a day off. I mean, it's been pretty busy.
Yeah, thank you for pointing this out because one thing I've noticed, and you guys mentioned that when we first opened this conversation, that you haven't been busy, you've been busier.
Yes.
Right. So definitely, it's interesting to see, and not to point out, oh, if you're a new agent, there's no way you're gonna succeed or be successful or whatever. It's just the actions that you guys are taking and the dedication that will bring more of naturally.
Right.
And
right.
Yeah, and same question for Jordan, but I see that if you're on the phone, that's fine. Whenever you want to jump back in, some question for you. If there was anything that you're adjusted as well, or main source of business, or anything that you had to adjust. But another thing that Gary J mentioned in the shift book was they said that people don't decide their future, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their future.
Right.
Right.
So if you are going to take this as an opportunity to feel sorry for yourself, your business is going to go down. If you're going to take this as an opportunity, and Jane and I discussed this and said, oh my gosh, look, this is like a little chance in the middle of, like, usually summer is very busy. This is the opportunity we've been waiting for to work on all the stuff that we need to get done. And it's like what those past client calls, everything. I mean, I made some cutting boards and gave them out as gifts. I mean, people, I know another friend that got some sanitizer and toilet paper and a bottle of wine and some toilet paper, just visiting the clients and things like that. You have got to be strong enough and read, really read. You know, if you have some time on your hands, we had discussed on the last call that go get another certificate. You know, I wanted to work on my senior certificate. Well, forget it. I haven't even had time the last 2.5 months because we've been doing all the other stuff. But somebody that had the time, if you need something to do, call me and I will give you a list of stuff to keep you busy that will increase your business. Because if you have your senior certificate and you go after those seniors, it's going to increase your business. If you call the title company, ask them for 500 phone numbers in your farm, it's going to increase your business. And it's like they have emails, they have phone numbers, they have all kinds of stuff you can get. Revamp your listing presentation. Just how you reflect and how you are is going to be how your business is. So you let this affect you in a negative way, you're going to have negative business. And if that's happening, snap out of it. Put yourself on a schedule. I want you to go get a good book this week and move forward. You've got to start working again. And the sooner you do it, the more the business is going to come in. And it's amazing how, you know, people are scared out there. They want to hear from you. Start calling those people in your farm or around your office. Let them know, hey, we have low inventory. I really need listings right now. Homes are flying off the shelf. They're going to get excited. They're going to feel better, and it will give you business.
Mindset is the key for sure. There's a reason that every motivational book or business book starts with mindsets, the first few chapters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, are you back? Okay, maybe he's still on the phone.
What about,
Gary,
you know, and you can, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
It's like exercise. People right now are using the excuse that, oh, you know, the gyms are closed, whatever. And it's like, come on, we've got TVs, we have iPads, we have bicycles. It's like, pick up that bike and get to the beach or go to the park. I mean, there's tons of stuff you can do. And don't forget, starting that day with a little exercise is going to make you happier.
100%. Yeah. Gary, what kind of habits did you pick? I mean, you have great habits to begin with. That's why you were very successful. What kind of habits did you pick or shifted into the past few months that you're gonna, keep on leading with?
Well, I mean, Allison just mentioned stuff like that right now. And again, it's just adapting to the time, adapting to what's before us. I've been an LA Fitness member for like 30 something years. All of a sudden, you can go to the gym. Okay. My wife went and bought a elliptical, machine. I work on that for 30 minutes at home, do some stretches and stuff. I'm good. So you don't really lose a bit. It just changed. And I used to believe that I can't work out unless I'm at the gym before. But now I'm doing it at home and then get up and go and get on my day. It's the mindset for sure. I'm telling you that Bold Law it was written a couple of years ago. It's so appropriate right now. Fear or faith, you choose. If you walk in fear that this is going to happen to you, I don't want this to happen to me, well, you're going to be shut down. But if you have faith, and at the end of the whole thing, I mean, this COVID thing is definitely for real. When I call people up, and just calling people, the care call has been great too. I had an agent call me, one of our KW agent from Las Vegas called me the other day, and just that care call, even though I do the call all the time, when I was receiving it, it felt really good. And it made me to think like, you know what, I have a potential seller that's looking to sell a house to maybe buy an income property in Vegas, I'm gonna call you back for that. So, and it just dawned on me like that's exactly the same thing we do. When we make the care call to people, it ignites them because just a little good thing to them ignites them, and you get they're sending you whatever opportunity that can come your way.
Great points. And I just shared both on the Facebook Live and over here the link to the bold laws. Great point. Great mention, Gary. That you guys can once again feed your mind and of course take action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely.
Alison, anything you want to add to that?
I feel that the more you do the things you're supposed to do, the more confidence you're going to have, the more you're going to portray in front of your clients, and the easier it becomes. So, I mean, you can see it when you're out there working. People will always buy a house. The best thing about our business is people have to live somewhere, and rents aren't going down, so they're going to buy when they can afford to buy because they want to own. It's real simple. You're either the agent in front of them or you're not. So you want to be the agent in front of them, you've got to get out there to be in front of them.
Yeah. Jordan, are you back?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, what from what you heard, from Gary and Alison, what new habits, if anything, did you picked up recently and you're gonna stick with in the future or near future?
Recently, well, I've always been pretty organized, and that's probably the main thing I try and stay on top of is not getting behind on things, returning calls promptly, emails promptly, knowing what stage of a transaction I'm in all the time. I think recently I would be following up more probably, keeping tabs on people, checking in. For example, if you are lead generating and your business has gone down due to COVID, I would maybe step it up a bit more, do a bit more lead generating, push it a little harder. I don't think I could think, because I do believe maybe there will be less deals around possibly, or as it was mentioned earlier in the phone call, maybe there are some agents that may have left the business, or maybe there's more business to be had. I don't know. I would just be consistent, as we always say. Stay on top of things, stay on top of your database, be consistent, stay organized. Don't get deterred by what other people say or listening to what other people say. Just stay focused, as always.
People will always tell, I think people will always tell you whatever if they're not wanting to work or they don't want to work, they'll always tell you how bad everything is, trying to bring you down with them. So stop hanging, it's almost like the chicken hangs with the chickens and the eagles hang with the eagles. So if you want to be an eagle, go find eagles to hang with. Don't let negativity, if somebody keeps being negative, you need to just move away from that person, knowing that there's business out there, because you can look at the board and you can see there's business out there. Go ahead and put in, Calabasas active listings this week. I bet you there's like 50 of them. Well, why didn't you go get one of those? Somebody is selling and somebody is buying. And it's, I've been doing this a long time. I've been through 3 really bad foreclosure markets. We didn't even have short sales in the first foreclosure market. But it's, even in those markets, there was huge opportunities and somebody was buying and selling. So the thing I've learned the most about 30 years in real estate is people have to live somewhere. They're going to buy. You just have to be in front of them. So do whatever you can. Obviously you can't door knock right now, but you can mail, you can phone call. There's a ton of things that you can do to try to get in front of people. Social media, we didn't have social media before. So Instagram, Pinterest, whatever you can come up with, borrow somebody, ask somebody in the office, hey, can I advertise your property for you? Go out and get it. Do anything that you can. Make a list of all the stuff you can do for free and go do it. There's no reason that if you're a new agent, you should be calling 6 hours a day. And it's like, I guarantee you call 6 hours a day for 5 days, you will have a buyer or a seller at the end of that week.
Yeah. And by the way, everything you hear from Allison, Gary, and Jordan in terms of statements, I think that they actually did and still doing. So I appreciate your guys'
When I moved here, I wasn't from here. Nobody in Long Beach knew me. And guess what? I don't have any relatives here. They're all in England. So it's like, I don't have any family to buy from me. This was all self-generated business. So, everybody always says, oh, well, I don't know anybody. Whatever. Get on the phones. Those people don't know anybody either. And now they know you.
Good point. Jordan, what is your story? You also not
my story?
Yeah.
My Vegas stories?
Yeah, no, yeah, not those stories. The moving out here years back, no family, no nothing. Where did you come from?
Yeah, so basically I moved out, I think 9 or 8 years ago now. I didn't know anybody at the time either. And, people ask me what happened, what changed, what did you do? And it's kind of a haze, to be honest, because I remember really struggling for like probably into the business, two and a half years. I was like barely getting by. I think it took me like over 12 months to close my first deal. I didn't even close a lease in that time. But you know what? I had no other choice but to push forward because I had nothing else to fall back on because I had no family or anything out here. So my comfort zone was never really there, to be honest. So I just kept pushing. I would stay in the office till like 8 p.m. at night. I wouldn't have much of a social life. I would just keep cold calling. I didn't have much money for gas. So anytime I did have money, it was pretty much to put into real estate or eat lunch and dinner. So I would say after 2.5 years in, I started getting, I guess, lucky, but then you make your own luck. Then one listing went to another referral. In that 2.5 years, I did build up somewhat of a database and a sphere of influence. I kept on top of everybody. And then, like every good thing, I started like putting things on social media and Facebook. And maybe there was a false representation at the time of how much business I really was doing. But to the people that saw me, they saw me selling houses. That's all they cared about. They didn't know how many. And then it just started snowballing from there, really. I started learning so much about the business, how people work, what to say at the right time, what not to say, from mistakes I had made. You learn more from your mistakes than you do from your wins, in my opinion. So I learned from all the things I did wrong in the beginning, and now I just know pretty much a lot of what there is to know about the business, about transactions, and really how to talk to people. I think that's probably the key, is how to talk to people, not push too hard, in the right moment, how to negotiate, and how to close a deal. I think that's what it really comes down to, is you facilitate the transaction and getting it closed at the end of the day. It was a process, but I can't really tell you when the tipping point was. I just kept pushing, didn't get sidetracked, knew that I wanted to make it happen, and then when I got the opportunity, I taken it, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, good point, Jordan. Thank you. I was on mute for a second over here. Thanks for sharing.
No worries.
Great story. Gary, you have a great story as well.
About how I got started? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've been in the community. I can say I just moved out here. I've been living out here for about 40 years now. However, real estate was not, I stumbled my way into it. I helped a gentleman who told me, hey, you helped me. I was in retail at that time, actually. And I helped him so well. He said, son, the way you help me, you should go sell real estate. I said, why? He said, uh, you put your passion into helping me with camera gears and all that stuff. And if you do that for real estate, you're going to make people rich. I said, okay. It turned out to be David Murdoch. At that time, he was the 64th richest man in the world. So I actually thought I was going to go work for him because I found out he owns a lot of commercial buildings in Westwood area. So real estate is just, it's an opportunity to help people. It's our opportunity to help people build their wealth. I always look at a house sale as more than just a house sale. You're helping people build a life, a legacy for their family, for them. There's so much joy for me when I help someone, maybe their first home, they bought a $300,000 home, and 5 years later, they bought a $500,000 home, and then 7 years later, they're buying $800,000, $1 million home. That's helping people build their wealth. That's the passion I have, and I believe that we can do that every day. If we all look at it, it's more than just a business transaction. If you look at connecting and helping people, and yeah, sometimes people make bad decisions. You have to sell it, for whatever. Even when I do a short sale, back in the short sale market, I always tell people, listen, if you're doing a short sale, you did an investment, it didn't work out right. Well, what can we do to make it right the next time? And then let's go figure that out together. So that's what it's all about. And if I'm just gonna, in closing, to tell people that, listen, COVID is for real. It doesn't kill everybody. It's definitely not gonna kill us if we do what the government tells us to do. But helping people so that you and your family can continue to do better is within your reach. You just gotta take the step, to do that, and you will get the reward from it.
Well said, Gary. Thank you. And very powerful statement as well that, you come from contribution and you have a mission that you work for, in your case, for many, many years. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Alison, anything just kind of like, to close the session, anything you want to share?
Just stay positive. There's tons of stuff to do. You need to just get on it. Like I said, call me if you want to list. We'll generate you some business. I don't know if you went to Bold or not, but Bold had a ton of good ideas. Work on your website. Get those calls made. Let's move forward and get the business. People are buying homes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Alison. Jordan, anything to sum up the
to sum up, I guess for any new agent or someone getting into business, I just think the best way to go is to get a mentor that you want to become like, somebody who works like you, somebody who is at a place where you want to be, because you have so much to learn from them and their knowledge and how they do their business, and all you have to do is just pretty much plagiarize it. Yeah, I think that's really key, is having a really good mentor as well, somebody to follow and watch. Apart from that, like anything in life, just stay consistent at something and you should do well at it, whether it takes 3 months to get there or 3 years, you stay consistent, you will eventually get there. So.
Yeah, and you're talking from experience, so absolutely, a mentor is crucial for in any industry, right? A coach or a mentor.
Exactly.
Gary?
Okay. What's the question? I'm sorry. I'm trying to shift the camera here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Gary.
Reaching to the camera, I thought you had something to add, just to sum it up.
Well, I believe, most people listening here are probably from KW somewhere. One of the things I did in my career, really very into it is getting a coach. I used to be with McFerry coaching for like 3, 4 years, and then I went into MAPS. And that's been very rewarding for me. So if you don't have the funds to do, MAPS coaching, maybe your productivity coach. I know we have a great one at my office, and I'm sure other offices around. Just plug into someone that can pour into you, and then do what they tell you to do. If you do what they tell you to do, you'll get the result, and your life will change. Thank you.
Yeah, well said, Gary. Well, guys, I can't thank you enough for these words of wisdom and your experience in your time. Thank you so much. That was a very informative session and motivating, and I appreciate your time, and keep doing a great job and stay safe. So with that, we're going to close the session. Once again, thank you so much, Alison Van Wig. She was running to Shore Property, Jordan Davis, and Gary Nix. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Stay safe and be well. And whoever is watching, guys, thank you so much, and keep productive. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, Alison.